everybody. So, my question is, where are the men? Okay. And I'm married, okay, but my sister, y'all, is gorgeous. Two beautiful sisters, smart, educated, wants to be married. And the women in my church, our church is full of beautiful Christian saved women. And I'm not just saying beautiful as passing, I mean physically pretty and smart and educated, well spoken. They don't have the attitude, I don't need no man. None of that is going on. These women want to be married. And I'm like, where are the men? And so I'm going to talk about this more later, but where are the men at? Where are y'all? Okay, white girls, y'all chime into this. I'm not just talking about black men. I mean men. Okay, good old country boys, the white boys with the dirty hands that they got the pants sagging because they fixing, under your sink or changing the oil in your car. Good old dirty white boys is just working hard at the feed store, working hard. My brothers that are working at McDonald's, Burger King, Brahms, KF, they're just working hard behind the counter. Even
You're a lie. You're a goddamn lie. You know your sisters don't want men working at McDonald's. You know your sisters don't want men who are driving trucks. You know your sisters don't want the plumbers. You're a lie. And then you put God into it. Talking about all my sisters are in church. Why don't they choose the men in church? It's funny how all the women who want men who believe in God and who go to church never choose men in church. Funny how that works. There's so many single men at church. They usually, do you know what they do? They friends on them and they call them my brother in Christ. So your brother in Christ is not good enough to be in a relationship with. Your brother in Christ is not good enough to get married to. Your brother in Christ is not good enough to go on a date with because he's not cool enough, because he's gonna make you actually really go to church. But you're looking for a guy who believes in God out of church, who has the money and goes to the clubs and is gonna go take you shopping. And then you guys noticed how when she mentioned all the things the women have, she mentioned they have degrees, they're educated. Like, men really care about those things. She never mentioned they're kind. She never mentioned they respect men. She never mentioned they can cook. She never mentioned any of those things.
some that are professional. My Hispanic brothers, where are y'all at? Are y'all at Home Depot? Are you hanging out at Walmart Supercenter? Where are you? My other sister, we were talking about it, and she goes, well, maybe women need to be taught how to do this and this. I said, it doesn't matter how the women need to be taught if once they're taught, the men are still not there.
That's not true.
Okay. You can get teaching all day how to be a great wife, how to be a great woman. But if there's no man there for you to practice your teaching on, it's not going to work. So I said, wait a minute, this don't make no sense. Y'all, Sunday, I got so frustrated because our church is so full of physically pretty women who want to be married, who love God. Some are divorced, some have never been married and want to be married.
Why don't you choose the men in the church? Ta-da! I just solved a rocket science formula. Choose the men in church. I mean, you go to church every Sunday, unless you only go to a feminist church where men are not allowed. But if men are allowed, go find the men in church every Sunday. But like I said, your friends on those guys because they're not cool enough for you guys. They don't have the age. They don't have the gangster look. They don't have the macho man looking face. They don't have the tattoos. You call them brother in Christ. You only pray with them and give them the side hugs, the pat on the back as a hug. And you're talking about even if the women learn how to be wives, they're not good men. Who's teaching women how to be wives? Let me guess. It's probably because they came from a two-parent household. That means if there's a two-parent household, there's going to be good men also, because the dad is going to be available to raise the son into a good husband, into a good man.
They don't have this attitude. Like I told you, I don't need no man. Yo, we don't even have that going on. They want a good Christian man that loves God and that will love them. They don't even have to make all this money and all this stuff. So my men, if y'all are still thinking that most women just want you with six figures, you got to be this tall to have y'all brothers. This is white, black, Hispanic, Chinese, whatever your race is. A lot of women, y'all don't even care about that no more. They don't care about that no more. They want you to love God and love them. You don't have to be even, look like Brad Pitt or my baby daddy was. I was hoping Idris Elba. Now, I'm married, so don't tell my husband I said that. Okay. But anyway, or Morris Chestnut. Now, that's who I would have chosen. But he don't have to look like that. Just a good old country, or if you're up in the upper states, just a good man that loves God and loves you. If you get kids, one that loves your kids, that are trustworthy. I don't care if the man just got a prison, if he's learned his lesson and did some things he's not proud of, that has completely been changed by the power and the message of God. So men, I want to know, where are you at? I need y'all to show up, because there are some beautiful single saved women that are needing you, that are looking for you, waiting to be found. I don't know where y'all are.
Men are frustrated and they're tired. First of all, they're tired of women who are liars like you. There's plenty of men who just came from prison who are changed men. There's plenty of men who are average men, who are plumbers, electricians, who got no criminal history. There's plenty of men who work at McDonald's, because you mentioned McDonald's. There's plenty of men who work at Walmart. You don't want those guys. There are plenty of men who drive trucks, but you don't want them because they're not going to take you to a $500 dinner first date. There's plenty of men in your church. Like I said, unless your church is full of women, it's a feminist church, men are not allowed, but I'm sure there are men in your church, but you don't want them because they're not cool enough. So until you start to address issues men have been talking about, the only issue you talked about is they don't claim to be strong and independent. Okay, I'll give you that. But let them look in church first. Let them address the concerns men have been talking about. You can't pick and choose when you want to be submissive. That's one thing men talk about. You can't decide what type of dinner date constitutes a good man. Because let's be honest, the good man these days, women talk about good men. To women, a good man is one who has money and willing to spend it on them. Oh no, just because you drive a truck and you have never committed a crime, and you dress well, you talk proper, and you don't disrespect people, and you're kind to the homeless, that doesn't make you a good man. Oh no. A good man to them is a man who has money, willing to spend it on them.
But it show up. Show up, say, hey, I'm here. I'm single. I love God. If you've been looking for a beautiful, safe woman, even if, y'all, it could be in a different state. I don't know how people are meeting people, because I've been married for so long. I don't even know how people meet anymore, but except for online. But we got to have the single men who want to find a good woman, and the single women who need to find a good man. Y'all got to connect. Y'all got to connect some way. Y'all got to, I don't know how. If you got an answer, let me know. But I'm a married woman, but it bothers me because I'm surrounded by so many good single women who want to be married. I'm like, what is going on here?
Good to you? Ask the men they have dated before. If you really want to know if a woman is really a good, so-called good woman, ask the exes, ask the men she dated, and be like, hey, bro, I want you to be honest with me. Would you advise me to date this woman seriously? Most men will be honest and be like, bro, no. She's gonna call you out. The moment you stop taking her to expensive dates, she's gonna call you broke. She's gonna look you a certain way. She's gonna disrespect you. She's gonna say she doesn't need you. The moment you don't accept all her kids, she's gonna say you're not a real man. So the best way to know if a woman is really a good woman, you have to ask her exes. You have to talk to her exes.
I got family members, educated, beautiful women that want to be married, and I don't know where the men are. So,
The
hey,
men are
if
tired.
y'all know, let me know. Because single men and single women, come on, divorced, whatever your situation, never been married, whatever your situation is, y'all got to link up. Y'all got to connect some way.
Men are tired, and y'all didn't listen. So men are checking out because it's like, I'm gonna make all this investment. What am I getting in return? Oh no, you get nothing in return. You're a real man. Real man provides, protects. I'm a queen, so you provide for me, and everything I say goes. You don't get a say. You don't get to tell me what to do, because then you'll be controlling, narcissistic man. You don't get to tell me if I can cook or clean, because you're the man. I'm independent. I'm in a relationship, but I'm still independent. I can do what I want. So men look at that and they're like, oh, they weigh the options and like, you know what? I think it's better I work, save my money for my retirement, and live in peace and order my Burger King, and I'm good. But what do you guys think about that?